Hello my reader friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zoe. If you don't know me, I'm 21 and I live in Sydney, Australia. So we have another what I read this month video. Also, this is so random, but tonight is giving me really good vibes. It's been warm all day. It's been really summery. Just the weather's really nice and I'm really enjoying the night. I've got my windows open. It's just been a really warm night, and even though it's still winter, it's really giving me a good vibes because I don't really like winter. I'm more of a summer and spring girl. So it's getting me excited for going to the US and enjoying summer there. But it's also getting me excited for spring, which starts really soon. So I'm very excited for that. So this is what I read in July. I've read 3 books this month and I will get into them right now. First book I read this month, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is TikTok's most hyped up book, I think, ever. This book I've been told by so many people to read. I've seen so many recommendations online. I kind of felt like I had to read it. And it did not disappoint. I've discovered I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love her writing. So basically, if you don't know, this is what The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is about. Evelyn Hugo is a Hollywood icon. The story is set in the world of old Hollywood glamour. Evelyn is recounting her experiences with her rise to fame to a journalist. Her name is Monique. Evelyn had 7 husbands across her lifetime, and it delves into the story of how each of those came to be and the love that she shared for those 7 different people. I read that the story is loosely based off of Elizabeth Taylor because I think she got married 8 times to 7 different people. There's a fun real world connection. It tells the intricacies of love and shares multiple love stories that are beautifully written, but it gave me an interesting perspective that love is carried with us and it never really truly ends. That's a very generalistic way to look at it. I'm talking about the ones that end because it's too much work to make them work. And I thought it gave a really interesting perspective, and it just made me think how we carry that love with us throughout our lives. I mean, me personally, I've only ever dated one person in my life. I've only ever had one long-term relationship. Whilst I've learned a lot from that, dating a new person and then potentially multiple different people, you do live different lives with those people. I think I'm also realizing that the experiences you then go on to have with new people doesn't diminish the experiences you've had in the past. I guess I just felt very touched by this story and comforted by the way they present love. That I guess it's flawed, that it can be hard, that there's no one way for things to end, for things to start. That's all I'll say about that. I don't know if that was the takeaway of other people, but that was just the takeaway for me. So I really liked it. Next, I read Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead by Elle Cosimano. And this is number 2 in the Finlay Donovan series. So basically it is about Finlay Donovan. So somebody wants her ex-husband and the father of her children dead. So Finlay is trying to solve this mystery whilst simultaneously working on her writing career and raising her children, and love stories in the mix. A little bit of a love triangle. I would say my biggest takeaway from this book is it is a good distraction book. So much happens in it that's just so wild and so random that I just think it's a really funny book to read. Like, there's a lot of moments that make me like gasp and you're just kind of like, what? But it's a good book. I think it's a good book you can get lost in. It's a good book you can just read. I feel like it's a pretty easy read. So yeah, that's my review for Knocks 'Em Dead. Lucky last, another one of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, Maybe in Another Life. Now this has been probably my most favorite book ever. It's about Hannah, who has lived in multiple cities of her life, but she doesn't feel like any of them are home to her. So she's sort of struggling with what she wants to do with her life, where she wants to live. Her family moved to London when she was in high school, so she's lived with her best friend's family in Los Angeles, and then she was living in New York. But when a relationship breaks up, she goes back to Los Angeles, moves in with her best friend. She goes to her welcome home party at a bar, and her high school boyfriend she reconnects with. The story follows 2 parallel timelines, where she goes home with the high school boyfriend Ethan, and one where she goes home to her best friend's house. Oh my gosh. It's so good. Just the whole concept of parallel universes and the butterfly effect is so fascinating. The fact that the decisions you make leads to a totally different reality that you maybe are destined for, a whole concept of fate, all that plays into this book. So if you love that kind of thing, I highly recommend, and it is so well done by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book made me cry. I've decided that if a book makes me cry, that is a good metric of if it's a good book. So I cried several times. I really loved it. This is gonna be a 5-star book read for me, so do with that what you will, but I highly recommend this book. I'm giving this book to my sister when we go to the US, and I'm forcing her to read it. I'm also making my mum read it. She's dog-earing my book. I've got to give her a bookmark. That's not okay. Anyway, those were my book reads for the month. I really hope you have a look into them, see if you want to read them. I highly recommend Taylor Jenkins Reid books that I read. Yeah, let me know what you're reading at the moment. Let me know if you got any book recommendations for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.